Hi everyone, welcome to the PIPCAST 3000, a bi-weekly podcast that happens every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm Caedo, and this is my co-host, Bad Company Sarge.
I'm freaking Bad Company Sarge.
I was losing the plot on the intro, Sarge. I don't know if you noticed.
Ah, no, you
I'm
did
even
so
leave it
well.
in. I don't even care. But yeah, this is a Bethesda adjacent, usually Fallout something topic-oriented kind of podcast. We are going to do a bit of a Fallout topic this episode, I think. But before that point, we have to thank the Wasteland Legends, Sven and Rose. Thank you so much. And let's just leap and bound right into our comment of the cast. So you want to be a comment of the cast, just leave a comment. That's really all you got to do. Sarge, what is the comment of the cast from last episode where we talked about Shattered Space and how mediocre it is?
Yeah, we have a Zachary, not sure how you pronounce it, has commented, I believe one way they could possibly fix the whole empty space problem outside of major areas is to add a bunch of POIs, points of interest. Instead of 12 to 15 POIs we currently have in the game, maybe add like 30 to 40 more. I do believe this is something we've talked about. I don't know if we've talked about it like on one of our channels or if we've just casually talked about it. But we've both kind of chatted about how there's just the same locations you go to, and despite there being like 1,000 planets, there's about 20 locations, which is not a good ratio.
Yeah. Well, also it feels, I mean, just based on their example, I'm sure they're just pulling the number out of nowhere, like a lot of us do.
Yeah.
But like, there is more than we think there are. It's just the conditions are sometimes very specific.
Yes.
Like too specific for some of them, and some like really good ones, by the way. Like there's the big drilling rig point of interest that I bring up, but it has to be on an ice ball planet. Like it because of how it's designed, like it has icicles growing on it and stuff like that. Like it has to be on a frozen planet. But if it were other places, hey, that'd be freaking awesome, because it's a cool location and it's big. Like it's a proper dungeon to explore, but like external. So you're not loading into a dungeon. You're just exploring this cool drilling rig. But yeah,
there's about 5 locations, 5 points of interest, which show up over and over and over again.
Yes.
Like basically every single time. And
because their conditions are not like environment or planet specific.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, you've shown up on a planet. Here's the like big tower where some aliens killed all the people. Or here's a generic little settlement with a few colonists who have shown up. Like it's always really boring stuff as well.
Yeah.
Or like the cryo facility, which feels really like it should have been a one-off
God, I
area.
hate that place. I hate it so much.
But it just shows up on like every planet. It's like, what are you doing?
It's even on ones with freaking lava.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, here's another secret cryo facility. Great. There's the mech graveyard
absurd.
as well. Is the mech graveyard a POI?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the larger issues that I saw was like just the well, we just went over it, like the frequency of some of the like especially abandoned mines, like they're everywhere because their conditions are so non-specific. Like they can just be like, it doesn't have an atmosphere, it does have an atmosphere, like wherever, like it'll be there. But the problem with some of the other ones is like there's simply just not really much to do at a lot of them, especially the colony ones. Like you can get a Radiant quest and have like one trader there, but that's the maximum you can get interaction wise from that place too, unless you just kill them all, which, you know, I guess you can do if you want to, but there's no real.
It's a bit of experience.
You may as well. they're gonna not matter in the grand scheme anyway.
I will say at one of the I still have a clip saved of me getting like a legendary weapon just on a crate in one of these colony places.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the defining moment of me of, oh yeah, this loot system is garbage. because it was literally in a box.
Was it stealing too, technically? Since it was...
Oh, I can't remember, but I have the clip so I can check.
Oh, cool.
It's literally like one of 6 general gameplay clips I've got saved. Yeah, there they are. Yes, it is stealing.
Yep.
It does count as stealing, not that it matters.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's some things. Oh man, you're getting me in that mode again, Sarge. 2 weeks ago, I was in rant mode about Starfield, because of Shattered Space and like all of the things leading up to that I took issue with. And like there's aspects of the game. Disclaimer: there's aspects of the game that I still like.
Yes.
Man, I can't even form words. But there's a lot of things that need attention to bring it up at least to the bar of previous games that Bethesda have done, because there's so many like backward steps in Starfield that is ridiculous.
I think the biggest problem as well is where almost all of the drawbacks and negatives and just stupid design decisions come in relates to the moment-to-moment gameplay, just when you're casually playing the game. Like, if this was issues we had with the title screens, or the inventory menu, or stuff like that where you're not constantly dealing with it, Starfield would not get the sort of criticism it does. But it's because, like, 95% of the time that you're playing, you're having to deal with either bad design, a stupid decision, or just poor implementation. That's why it's really got people riled up.
Yeah. And I mean, one example of what we just kind of deal with is NPCs have to largely have to stop whatever animation they're doing for you to freaking talk to them. And like a lot of us just kind of deal with it at this point, but it's not really acceptable.
It's annoying.
It's like a large chunk of my gameplay, like the hours I've spent on Starfield, I'm gonna bet at least an hour or 2 is just waiting for NPCs to stop doing what they're doing so I can freaking talk to them. And it's dumb. And I'm sure there was some like technical thing where it's just like, oh, their animation might get all jacked up if you're talking to them midway through it, or something like that. I don't care. Just like halt their animation or something. I don't care if it looks janky in that way. I just want to talk to them. Oh man. Anyway,
you know what I want, listeners? I want you to suggest some Fallout tier lists that I can make.
Yeah.
That's as smooth as transition as I could do onto that. I want to make some Fallout tier lists for like future topics, but I want to know what stuff you want tier lists of, so let me know, and if I can make them, I will. Yeah.
And then we can rank some stuff and then start some beef with people on what our favorites are or whatever. I don't know.
And because I'll be the one making them, you'll be able to fill out the tier list yourself if you want to.
Hey, because then you can link it, and then people can do their own. Cool. Yeah. Nice. Oh, I wanted to mention, sorry, Zachary, thank you for the comment, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
You started a rant. The points of interest, I think part of the problem largely with Starfield now, because there are more points of interest than you're giving credit for, which I understand, by the way, but is that there needs to be more variety at those the ones we do have available. Or at the very least the limitations of biome needs to be widened a bit so people do get more variety. Because as of right now, especially if you're taking off and landing on a planet with no atmosphere, like you're going to run into the same locations constantly. And a lot of players don't, I mean, I would guess, I'm not assuming too much, that players don't consider that their first couple times through, that like there are conditions to these points of interest, and the less interesting ones are going to happen on planets that have like less, flora and fauna and stuff like that.
I mean, it's also the case of, from the player side, you don't know what the conditions are. You just get given a whole bunch of information about the planet when you look at it, and about half of it actually matters.
Oh yeah.
And it's and nothing tells you what does or does not put the conditional.
Nothing in the background tells you.
Yep.
There's no like, this game would benefit a lot from like an encyclopedia of some kind. For like, points of interest might be a little maybe a step too far, maybe, but like even having information on what flora and fauna and planets have certain resources and kinds of things, that'd be so helpful. But it's easy to tangent off to other things besides just the points of interest, because it's all freaking connected, and then once one doesn't work, then the rest of them kind of fall apart. That's part of the trouble that I have with Starfield.
Yep. Do you still have Starfield installed at the moment?
I do, because I've been I sent you a screenshot. I've been playing through the Shattered Space again with Sam, and with New Game Plus, just to see what kind of stuff is different.
Has anything been different so far?
Besides the screenshot that I sent you,
which is just
there's
having
been
a different follower with you.
Having a follower, but a different follower not perceiving or not hearing an ASCO, which has cool implications if it's true. But I know Barrett sometimes lies because he's charismatic, so I don't know. But some of the Starborn lines, there's extra Starborn lines.
Okay.
What else can I say?
That's something at least.
It doesn't really save the content of Shattered Space per se, but we already did that episode, so I'm gonna try not to linger on it too long, because we're going to be doing the gamer thing. Best Fallout 4 perks is going to be our TheGamer list that we're going to palette cleanse with.
Yep.
After we talk about a couple of news thingies. Unless you had anything else you wanted to say about the comment. Sarge?
No. Well, we did a whole Starfield episode last time.
We did, yes.
Yeah. It's good to have
I could do another one. I have that much
it's fine.
ready to go.
You're still working on your video, right? That's
I am,
out yet.
yeah.
Yeah. Put all the anger into that.
Okay. You got it, Sarge. I can channel my anger real good. Okay. Well, something that's not angry on its surface, anyway, is the Xbox partner preview. There was a little preview show for the month of October, and they showed off quite a few games and or previews of upcoming releases, including Alan Wake 2: The Lake House, which is the expansion for Alan Wake 2, Chronos: The New Dawn, Blind Fire, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Mouse PI for Hire, Subnautica 2, Animal Well, Eden's Zero, Eternal Strands, Mistfall Hunter, Wheel World, Phasmophobia, I think that's just for Xbox, The Legend of Babu, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, and FBC Firebreak. Saying those on their face probably doesn't mean anything to a lot of people, so we have this actually linked in the description. Nothing really called out to me besides Mouse PI for Hire, which is a very 50s black and white cartoon aesthetic shooter, which it really stood out from everything else for me because it's that different. Because like the only other thing we've really had in that style, even in the last decade, has been like Cuphead, and I think that's pretty much it, unless I'm missing something.
I'm trying to think, but no, it's Cuphead. There was also there was like a weird indie horror game, Bendy, something like that, which had a similar art style. But yeah, there's been a couple of games with the kind of cartoony stuff, but this one very much leans into it. It looks kind of cool. Yeah.
And also, like, those who like the Remedyverse, FBC Firebreak is the 3-player co-op Remedyverse shooter thing, which is very interesting of a turn for them to do. But I don't know, if you're into like Control and stuff like that, and Alan Wake this might be another thing you might want to have a look at.
Yeah. I think
again, the rest. Go ahead.
I think the only thing that interests me at all was Subnautica 2. It's the first game of that I haven't played because I've got a bit of hydrophobia, but I've seen people play it and it's really cool and neat. And I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. So I'm glad to see it's getting a sequel. I have confidence it will be at least okay. And that's the most excited I am about any of these games.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like a lot of these are also niche too. Like the Like a Dragon series, like it. A lot of people, especially Kite, like think that if I got into them, like I would be really into them because they're just bonkers. But I've never wanted to get into the Yakuza games for whatever reason.
I've tried,
but it's definitely got an audience for sure.
Yeah, I've put about 20 or 30 hours into the franchise, I reckon, but it's never managed to stick with me.
Yeah, and this one's gonna show Skull and Bones how it's done because that's really great that they're doing a pirate themed thing just because they can. Like they've made a universe where basically anything is doable for genre. So I just think it's cool.
Yep.
That's all I have to say about that, I think.
Yeah, but a bunch of games were announced.
Yep.
That's good.
There's also games that keep getting re-released, right, Sarge?
Yes, games that get re-released, like Oblivion.
Yeah.
Did Oblivion get re-released a bunch?
Maybe.
I'm sure there was like Game of the Year edition.
There was Game of the Year edition, and then there was like Game of the Year Deluxe afterwards that had like the Mehrunes Razor and like the player home stuff with it.
Yeah, see, I'm a bit too young to really understand all of this. You know, I was basically born when Skyrim came out, I think, so, you know, Oblivion's a bit before my time.
Baby Sarge.
Yep, Baby Sarge. Yeah, we're talking about Oblivion and Elder Scrolls and stuff, because there was a little interview held with, let's get this right, the ex-Bethesda employee and Skyrim lead designer, Bruce Naismith, who left the company a few years ago, and did a little interview with Video Gamer. We're linking a PC Gamer article, though, because the Video Gamer site I did not get on with. But we're just linking a little small part, because also I couldn't find the whole interview, because I was trying to find it on Video Gamer, and it wasn't going well. It's not been a great week, guys. It's not going well. I can't even find the interviews. But this one is, Skyrim lead says Bethesda was knocked back by furious response to Oblivion Horse Armor DLC, but it sold millions anyway. Quote, you're all making fun of it, and yet you buy it. Yeah, we're talking about Horse Armor.
Yeah,
because we're relevant.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're in that era now where creations are a thing.
Yes.
So it's just like horse armor blown up to exponential proportions.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. The whole article, I don't think we need to go super in depth in it because the title kind of explains it.
Yeah.
But the whole article is basically being like, oh yeah, it started out as this thing. It got really dunked on when it first came out because we were completely new to this. Downloadable content expansions weren't much of a thing really, so we were just seeing what works. And the response, the company did not anticipate it at all. It was overwhelmingly negative and made them so much money, which is the weird kind of disconnect with the internet, where even as people are screaming at you for putting so many microtransactions and stuff onto everything and monetizing the hell out of it, they're also buying the stuff, and it's like, what's going on here?
It's I think part of it is too, like, is there is a separation between the people that are vocal, who are much more involved with gaming discourse, and then the ones that are just there to buy product.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I guess that that divide is necessary, especially like even this reply to like, oh, you all got mad about it, but you all bought it anyway. You all is two different audiences.
Yep.
that he's talking about, but he's lumping them all into one thing. So like we can still be the vocal group, saying something is a bad choice. That's still a thing we can do. But
I mean,
we're also fighting the tide of people that are just buying stuff without thinking about the impact later.
Yeah, I mean, we're the guys who harp on about the legendary system and how uniques are better, but most of the people who aren't hosting podcasts about this stuff will just be like, oh, cool, I got a minigun with 2 effects on it. Neat.
Yeah.
Which,
yep.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, have you gone back to Skyrim lately? Have you gotten Daedric artifacts? That's gonna be my argument from now, like, onwards.
Yeah.
I think
a legendary system does not facilitate Wabajaks.
It's replaced Wabajaks. Are you happy? Are you happy, gamers?
Now you can get a staggering pistol randomly rather than being able to turn a dragon into a chicken. Great.
Yeah. What I want to turn Cicero into a sweet roll.
Yep.
Can't do that now.
No. This article does talk a bit about how the microtransactions and stuff, it's also, well, this was, what's it described as? Bethesda didn't start the microtransaction fire, it was just an early ember. They're talking about how, like, this was kind of a start of it, where for a couple of quid you could get horse armor, but now these microtransactions are so much more expensive for just a basic skin.
Yeah.
And with multiplayer games, they've really just, like, skyrocketed.
Oh, for sure.
People care less about, like, oh, I'll buy this skin for a single-player thing. But when other people are going to perceive you in your Fortnite John Wick skin or whatever, then it's like, well, I've got to pay money for this. I don't want people to think I'm a noob, because that's how it works.
Yep. Yeah, you now have the pressure of impressing your friends online.
Yeah.
Or, complete strangers who only care about their cosmetics.
Yeah. A big reason why I don't really play online stuff is because there's pressure. There's always pressure. Just all the time. I like my single-player games a lot more now. Because even though I wasn't someone who got snagged in by microtransactions, it'd still be like, oh, am I letting the team down if it's a team-based thing? Am I performing above average if it's just like more of a competitive thing? There's always a bit of pressure. And I'd much rather just chill and have fun with my games.
Yeah. I think I've kind of been that way most of my life, I want to say. I have, I mean, you've heard me mention it before, like, I have jumped into Fortnite occasionally, like, if my partner's down at the same time to play some, and, if the season just hits right, like the Wrecked one, because it's post-apoc. Post-apoc, but like like I make sure that I'm having fun still.
Yeah.
Like, because that's primarily the thing. Like, it's not about the competitive aspect as much. It's more about just like having a good time.
Yep.
And yeah, so it's, playing games to have fun, not get angry at them like Starfield. Your boy needs a break once in a while, I think.
Yes.
But yeah, I still think horse armor might have been like a progenitor to like maybe the standard, but it wasn't. They didn't take it and run with it like you were saying, like other companies did.
No, it was very much just like a little pebble before we had the entire boulder thrown in.
Yeah.
The stage we are now. And the article points out as well that it's like it was like a couple of dollars for horse armor, and now they do a couple of different examples. Apparently, it costs $20, so 10 times as much, to recolor portals in Diablo 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and plenty of just like individual video game skins are going to cost you $10. That's like not an uncommon amount. It's
Yeah.
It's all got a lot more expensive as well.
Oh yeah. Like,
which is...
I was even like, my gamer credits dropping as I talk, but like I was checking the like just checking if the season moved over in Fortnite because we're on a Marvel adjacent one right now and I don't care. But like just perusing the shop, like it's not uncommon to see skins that are like $12 or more.
Yeah. Although now we get to see it all in a different currency.
Yeah.
Yay. Less transparency. That's what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You gotta get your Vucks, and then you can purchase them.
Woo.
Yeah. Woo, capitalism. Anyway, speaking of choices that publishers and developers make, why don't we go on to our topic where we talk about cool things?
Yeah.
Right? Can we please?
Yes, let's talk about Fallout 4, a game no one has problems with and everyone enjoys.
Yep, the perfect Fallout game. It's for everyone. No one disagrees.
Yep. So, yeah, there's a Fallout 4, the best perks every player should get in Fallout 4. And I think this one is... I'm just going to start reading it out because there's some good clarification at the start.
Oh.
Which I think it's very important to read out before we absolutely tear this to shreds.
Yay!
So what's written here by Andrew Scariati?
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, man, I'm getting so many names I don't know how to pronounce today. I apologise to everyone who's got a name. Article starts, its immersive post-apocalyptic world aside, Fallout 4 is one of the best games to create original characters. Unlike many other titles that have objectively powerful common builds, Fallout 4 gives you the freedom to pick between different perks and specializations. Although it's recommended to try different builds and complete the game several times to get the full experience, there are a few perks that can give your character a powerful edge that might be worth exploring to build your ultimate hero of the post-nuclear wasteland. Fumbled a bit there. But, and then the update is... Fallout 4's best perks are useful for any character, regardless of build. If you've come looking for the best Fallout 4 perks after completing the first season of a TV show, then these excellent options will help you get started. So these are, yeah.
Just shoveling that SEO in there. Search for us, please.
Yep. On top of that, though, this is supposed to be, like, regardless of build. So we shouldn't be expecting, like, rifleman or stuff that's super specific, but just perks that are good regardless of character.
Well, there's 18 entries, so that's like half the table.
There's 70 perks in Fallout 4. Keep that in mind. There are quite a few.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if they're going to include like magazine bonuses or
I'd
whatever.
assume not, but
because those fall under perks in your Pip-Boy at least.
They do, and follower perks and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like if that's the case, McCready's perk.
Yeah,
easily.
In that instance, there's like over 100 perks, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume we're just looking at standard. You level up, you spend a perk point perks.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way to find out is to start reading them. So,
yeah.
Caedo, do you want to take the first entry?
Sure thing. All right, number 18, Hacker and Locksmith. These two perks may not be unique, but they will come in handy in the long run depending on whether you choose a computer whiz companion to join you. What? Hold on. Let me try that again. These two perks may not be unique, but they will come in handy in the long run depending on whether you choose a computer whiz companion to join you. If you know your friend will possess one of these skills, pick others instead. These two perks allow you to access terminals and safe boxes early on in the game, which will have important valuable loot. If you're one to go around looting and gathering everything you can, these are worth considering.
And I think the first thing worth considering is the reason Caedo kind of stumbled a bit there was because it says whether you choose a computer whiz kid companion to join you and then just ends.
Yeah.
When obviously everything in your brain is going, or like a lockpick sandwich expert.
Yeah,
sort of deal.
It was like, I'm going to be a run-on sentence, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
But they will come in handy in the long run, whether you on whether you choose a computer whiz companion to join you. It's just weirdly worded towards the end of it. It's just like, yeah, because if I were to write it that way, I would start with that. I wouldn't. Yeah, it was just weird wording. But that aside, like, yeah, hacker and locksmith are like, or just lockpick in general in any Bethesda game is like automatic. You'll have more loot. Why not get it? Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's useful. I will say I very rarely pick these up because for me, I don't need the extra generic loot, which is like 90% of what you get with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much like generic loot. Oh, you might get a suit of power arm with hacker. I think they're very good perks for if you're not an expert on the game, because it does give you a lot more avenues and a lot more stuff to just go into and get your resources from. But there comes a point where you've played the game so much that you know how to get everything which these perks would get you pretty much anyway.
Yeah.
And there's only a few like specific times they'd actually come in handy. So it's, unless you're going for them, it's not so helpful. But I do think this is a good one for the list. And I think it's also very good at the bottom of the list. Because they're not super exciting in Fallout 4, unfortunately. But they're still solid to pick up.
And Fallout 4 is like, I think it's the one, can you have companions lockpick in Skyrim? Can they do that?
I think so, but there's also like a morality thing with companions in Skyrim. So most of them won't do the stuff you tell them to do. I can't remember the specifics, but I know that there's like a number attached to each follower, and sometimes when you tell them to like steal a thing, they just won't do it. Because most followers in Skyrim are morally good or whatever. So you have to pick the right follower. I think they can lockpick, but I'm not certain. I know they can steal. But
anyway, that's one of the key things in Fallout 4 that companions can do. Certain ones.
Yes.
Kate can lockpick, Nick can hack.
Robots can do both.
Robots can do both. Well, either. Anyway.
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, they can do both if you just sort of swap out the component every single time.
Yep. It's like find a terminal and a locked door at the same place, and then go back to camp and swap the piece. Oh, it's so much work.
But you get like an extra 10 rounds of bullets or whatever.
Yeah.
So worth it.
Yeah, that's why I'm there. Obviously. Yeah. Worth it, I think.
Yes. All right. On to number 17, Gun Nut. Fallout 4 has 3 different kinds of perks that will boost your weapon damage for either melee weapons, firearms, or energy weapons. If you're starting your first Fallout adventure, Gun Nut is the ideal pick, as it increases small gun and repair proficiency by 5 with each upgrade. It's a great basic perk to invest in, and is without a doubt a staple selection in the game. However, if you want to spice things up, challenge yourselves with a melee build using the blacksmith perk, or an energy build with the science perk.
What?
At this point, I'm wondering if anyone in our audience is listening hasn't played Fallout 4, and therefore is not having the same what moment that all the rest of us have had.
What's small gun or repair proficiency? What does that mean?
That's the Fallout 3 gun nut perk. I'm pretty sure is the one that increases small guns and repair by 5 in the skill.
God, okay.
And they've obviously just Googled it. And it's crazy as well, because the image above this text is the gun nut perk from Fallout 4 saying you gain access to rank 2 gun mods.
It's
Literally
obvious that they wrote it
is.
before they had the images to put on the article. So
yeah, it's
this is dumb.
This is so bad. And it's annoying as well, because they're right. Gun nut is a great perk to go for.
Yeah, but
like, yeah, absolutely brilliant
the
choice.
reasoning is from a different game.
Yeah, I mean, the first sentence as well, when they talked about perks that will boost your weapon damage, I went into that being like, technically it's true, but it's misleading. Because it sounds like it's just a flat damage boost, which is stuff like Rifleman and Gunslinger.
Which is not. Yeah, it's a...
But instead it's modding your weapons.
to do more.
So they deal more damage,
Yeah.
which is still there, but in a roundabout way. But yeah, it's crazy how they're writing this list with when they haven't played the game.
Yeah.
Just you do not play the game and come to that conclusion, or maybe they played the game when it first came out, and then multiple years later they're writing this list and getting things bottled up.
Yeah.
But that's bad.
Yeah. Or missing that, you know, a lot of the Fallout games have the same names for the same perk, but they do different things.
Yeah.
Because the systems underneath them have changed.
Yep. Fallout 4 does not have skills.
Nope.
We had a whole conversation about skills like a month ago. Oh.
Yep.
Man, I think that might be the best example we've seen of a gamer just kind of sticking their foot in it in the most obvious way.
Just throwing out what they have researched for a couple seconds.
They typed it into Google. Google told them the answer. They said Fallout gun nut, what it do, and then copy and pasted it. Oh, brilliant.
I mean, we're unfortunately in the era of freaking AI telling us how things work too. So,
man, the reason I was quiet then because I was like, oh, do I want to mention that this is exactly what AI does?
Yeah.
It just scrapes it and no context. It's just like, yep, there we go. That's the answer.
All Fallout's the same
sandwich.
according to AI, right?
Yep. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Yep. AI's perception of Fallout is not specific.
No.
At all. Okay, let's move on to number 16. Huh? Let's do that one. Number 16, Sneak. Depending on your character build, Sneak is also a good option for those wanting to get around their enemies and set up close range attacks. You start this tree with a 20% bonus to your sneaking, which increase by 10 with each level up of this perk. There are lots of other abilities that work well when paired with Sneak, including High Agility and Stealth Boy, perfect for turning your hero into a silent killer. Enjoy role-playing as a deadly assassin of the wasteland. Is that right? Is it a 10% increase per?
I'm double
rank?
checking that.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
It is, except for the last rank, which doesn't actually give you an increase, just makes it so distant enemies lose you.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to check that as well, because that was in my brain as well. It was being like, is it 10% after? It is.
Yeah, because mine was saying like a 20% each.
Yeah.
It starts at 20, but
Yeah,
diminishing
it's Skyrim
returns.
where they
Woo!
have no Skyrim. They have 20% and then 5% or something per. It's Bethesda really likes to just change the percentages a lot, which does make it a bit confusing.
Yeah.
But Sneak is great.
Yep.
And at this point, I'm being like, hold up, we're getting really good perks for any build, very low down.
Yeah.
Like, these are go-to perks they're going for. Like, Gun Nut, sure, Gun Nut does depend on your weapon type. Like, that's a bit conditional. And Sneak, I suppose some players don't like sneaking. But the fact that they also didn't point out, like, not setting off traps, which is one of the best parts of Sneak.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, that makes it incredible to get. Like,
Yeah.
as someone who's been playing Fallout 4 Survival Mode recently and has to be going over the same locations again and again, now being able to just sprint through and be like, oh, I don't have to worry about mines is incredible.
Yeah, in Fallout 4 especially, because there are some cruelly placed bottle cap mines in Fallout 4.
Well, Starlight Drive and the fact that bottle cap mine has different places it can be. I
don't know if that's even intentional, to be honest, because one was just on the ground last time I played.
Yeah, it's just randomly somewhere, and it's always a surprise.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, terrifying.
But with
yeah.
Sneak rank 2, you don't gotta worry about it.
Yep. Sneak is a great perk, and it's going to be worse stuff higher up. Let's find out what's... I've scrolled down to 15, which is Ghoulish.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from their unique appearance, ghouls have some pretty amazing perks. Yes, they've lost their humanity to a degree, but they also don't seem to care about radiation, due to how much it has already altered their bodies and minds. The Ghoulish perk allows you to absorb radiation, healing your lost HP. rather than reducing your max HP when exposed. Each consecutive rank provides more healing through radiation.
Now I have
You've
to
just
look
kind of
that
gone.
up.
Okay, so yeah, Ghoulish does regenerate your lost health, but the way they've put it here makes it sound like you also won't be taking rads, but you still take rads.
Yeah, up until rank 4, where rad damage will heal
Yes.
slowly, restoring health. So you have to get to max rank,
Yeah, which requires level 50 as well.
which is level 50.
And the Nuka World
yeah.
DLC. It's
What?
one that
Oh,
was
wow.
added with the DLC, yeah.
I didn't realize that. Oh my god.
Yep.
So it wasn't even
they
that
also-
good to begin with.
No, it was previously you got up to rank 3, which still required level 48, and you then had the effect of some feral ghouls will randomly become
Yeah.
friendly.
Yeah, and it's hyper random too. It is.
Yeah. And considering ghouls almost always show up in groups of like half a dozen as well, and you're gonna accidentally shoot the friendly one in that instance every
Yep.
time.
Yep, I've done it a lot of times.
Yeah. This is the thing, Ghoulish isn't a particularly good perk. Especially for the Endurance 9 perk. It's just, I've always felt it was a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad, but it's not good.
I mean, that's a high commitment to endurance as well. And when it comes to like universally useful, like if the vibe that they're trying to go for here, like there is so many other directions to go on the attributes than trying to max out your endurance.
Yeah. Also, for health regeneration while taking radiation damage, that's like real specific.
Yeah.
It's like you're not taking rads most of the time. It's good for the glowing sea. That's like one instance where Ghoulish definitely comes in handy.
Well, ghouls hitting you too, because you take rad damage, so you get a little bit of health back basically if they hit you, as long as that health isn't taken up by radiation.
Yes. Just the other thing, because I was going to say like, oh, the gamma gun, but it's like, well, the gamma gun's probably going to do more radiation damage than you'll be able to regen anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ghoulish. See, Ghoulish should have been the lowest on the list so far.
Yeah.
Like, all the previous ones were better. At least they know what this perk does, mostly.
Yeah, that's true. Most for the most part.
And they have some knowledge about ghouls.
Yep.
That's good.
Even though it's, a modded screenshot.
Yeah. But, hey,
We don't have playable ghouls yet, but they're coming. They're coming. 76 is going to get playable ghouls.
I still can't remember when that's going to happen, but at some point...
Yeah. Yeah. Look at 76 doing all the innovating for Fallout. Weird.
Yeah. And it's the one so many people still hate.
So number 14?
Yep.
Mysterious Stranger. The Mysterious Stranger perk is a classic in the series and a powerful option to select via the Nuka World DLC. As one of the best perks Fallout 4 has to offer, the Mysterious Stranger will be there for you when you're in dire need, randomly appearing mid-combat. When you unlock the max rank, available at level 49, there is a high chance your critical meter will be filled when the Mysterious Stranger gets a kill. Regardless of how many hours you've played, every encounter with the Mysterious Stranger is a memorable moment in your Fallout journey.
So... yeah, there's a couple of things instantly. They said, like, requires the Nuka World DLC.
It doesn't.
No. The rank 4 of it, which is the one which has, like, the highest chance of filling your critical meter, that one requires Nuka World. Because what they did with a few of the DLCs was had another rank of a perk show up.
Is it weird to say that I just totally forgot that was a thing? That, like, Nuka World added more ranks?
It's completely understandable.
Okay.
The way I always remember it is that Lone Wanderer has 3 incredible ranks, and then you gain a few action points. And it's the one that always stands out to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's because it was added with DLC.
Oh.
Yeah, it's what they did with a lot of it, where I feel like there's maybe 10 extra ranks, where obviously they were like, oh yeah, we can add in more ranks to these perks. Brilliant. And it's something the team actually talked about with 76, where they were like, oh, perk cards are great, because we'll just be able to add in tons of new ones. They've added in, like, 3 new perk cards.
Yeah.
I made multiple videos being like, hey, here's new perk cards you can add in. And I came up with tons in next to no time.
Yeah.
But
And
Bethesda was like, crossbow damage.
yeah, I was gonna say like they with the most recent public test, I think one of the patches currently is like they're consolidating levels of some of them, so we're actually getting less now going forward because some of them are just redundant in their levels.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh well, we might as well combine these or move them around to what makes sense.
Yeah. That is also something I did in my videos years back, where I got like all the disease perks and I was like, yeah, you can just fold these all into one. That'd be a lot smarter.
That means the 76 devs are watching you, Sarge.
Yeah. Well, I hope they watch my reworking the legendary system video.
Me too.
That'd be nice.
I mean, they have made changes
They have made improvements
to make it better.
It is not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
We can definitely say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Back to the Mysterious Stranger, though.
Mm-hmm.
He is iconic. That is pretty cool.
Yep.
They don't mention VATS.
Wow, that's like the one thing you need to do to have him show up.
This is the exact reason why I don't typically choose Mysterious Stranger, because I very rarely use VATS. It's such an oversight.
Well, it's weird for me to say though then, because like I use VATS all the time, and I don't usually pick the Mysterious Stranger either.
Oh, poor Mysterious Stranger.
Yeah, I think it's because there's so many other luck perks I would rather have.
The luck tree is very good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to go for in that. Like, I still think Mysterious Stranger is a fun one. Deserves a place on the list.
Yep. Been there
Say
since
that.
the first or the second game, also.
Yeah, has been around for a long time. And, yeah, I very much like... Did they mention... They don't mention in here that Nick is doing, like, a bit of an investigation into the Mysterious Stranger.
Yeah.
Which was always a detail I liked. Because it kept it vague, but also acknowledged it.
Yeah. And
I'm a big fan of that.
And the New Vegas Easter egg, too, about the Mysterious Stranger.
What's the New Vegas?
The lonesome drifter is his son.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you meant the New Vegas thing within Fallout 4.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
The Easter egg of Mysterious
the Lonesome
Stranger is...
Drifter is.
Yeah.
How much confirmation do we have on them being the son?
Well,
Because...
him giving you the Mysterious Magnum is the main
Yeah,
thing.
I always... That's the part I remember is like, oh, he's got the Mysterious Stranger's gun. And I know people are like, because he's his son, but I could never remember if there was actually a link
he
between
talks
those.
about it being like from his dad. Like he laments about his dad being a piece of crap. So
Oh, man,
also
Mysterious
canon, the
Stranger
Mysterious Stranger's a
sucks.
piece of crap. So, you know.
Okay.
But-
Should be bottom of the list then. Terrible father. God, let's
Terrible
move on.
father, great perk.
Number 13 is Scrounger. When it comes to surviving in the wasteland, loot is one of the most important things to keep the Soul Survivor going. Especially at higher difficulty levels, it's crucial to find powerful gear and gain every advantage you can get. This is where Scrounger perk comes into play. Thanks to this perk, the Soul Survivor will find more ammo when looting desks, boxes and the like. At each level, the likelihood goes up until it gets to 100% at rank 3. At rank 4, emptying a gun will allow you to reload an extra magazine, which is even more handy.
What?
Yeah, they've kind of screwed up a bit again. I don't know where they're getting the percentages from. Because each rank is just like, you find more ammo. I am glad they clarified the ammo, because they talked about, crucial to find powerful gear. And that's where Scrounger comes into play, where it almost sounded like they were talking about equipment.
It says the percentage chance in the wiki, actually.
Oh, does the wiki have the percentages?
Yeah.
Because the game doesn't.
Yeah,
That'll be it then.
Rank 3 says 100% chance. Rank
Alright.
2 is 70. Rank 1 is 40.
Okay, so, yeah, they're getting this info from wikis, clearly.
Yep. I mean, we figured
yeah,
as much,
Yeah.
but there's the proof.
But yeah, the game is just like, you find even more ammunition in containers, and that's as much as a description.
So I'm sorry, that it's not the entire proof, but assuming that they're using the wiki over the creation kit, is not
Yeah.
too much of a assumption, I don't think.
I mean, clearly what they actually do is just Google and click on the first thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normally that's going to be the wiki. But last rank as well, they've said that you reload an extra magazine, which sounds like you get double ammo capacity when you reload.
That's not worded right at all.
No, that's very bad wording, because there's a chance to... Directly it says, gain more ammo when you fire the last round in your clip.
Yeah.
But basically it means you don't spend the ammunition you spent, sort of thing. It just tops up your ammo.
Yeah. You reload free ammo, basically.
Yeah.
Which
is great. It's a really cool little last add-on to Scrounger.
Yeah.
Especially as it is kind of a boring perk.
True.
Like, it's useful. It definitely is worth getting. I feel like it's the perk I've probably been recommended to get the most often. People love being like, hey, you should get Scrounger. It's such a popular comment on any Fallout 4 Let's Play stuff.
Because of how thrifty you are too, Sarge, like I would imagine it would only be good for you too.
I mean, it's good, but I don't really need it. The thing is, you're always short on ammo right at the start. But after you've been playing for a bit, you're generally fine. I think if you're playing an automatic character or someone who does get through ammo with stuff like a minigun, then yeah, Scrounger's so much more worth it. But I don't typically play those characters. I'm more semi-auto, which means I've got good trigger discipline and don't have to worry about Scrounger so much.
I am undisciplined, so I get
but you just punch things.
I get that too, but I get the splatter cannon and just hold the trigger down.
Yeah.
Or no, the problem solver. The problem solver is the automatic one to start with.
I mean, you can...
They're the same.
They're the same gun. Yeah.
I know. They're the same. Legendary system.
Yep. And Nuka World didn't add in unarmed weapons, Caedo.
Nope.
Which I will never forgive Bethesda for. I made 2 entire builds right at the start of my channel being like, aha, this will be the DLC where we finally see unarmed weapons.
Nope.
Ah, what an idiot I was.
Yeah. Hey, and it would have been the perfect opportunity too, because how wacky can you get with Nuka World? Not wacky enough.
Yeah.
Apparently.
You literally could have had like a fake Mickey Mouse hand.
Yeah.
To just smack people with. And it's Raiders as well, so you could have gone like barbed wire fist sort of thing, harking back to the older games.
Yep.
Like you could have gone... There's so many things they could have done with it.
Yeah. Instead, they played around with paddle balls that are useless.
Yep. I mean, there's the little acid gun as well.
Yeah, which is also useless.
Great. Gives the player some poison damage.
Yeah. The best damage type in the game.
It's so powerful when used against the player, but it's so useless when you're using it.
Yep.
But hey, if you want to be able to survive against Nuka World's dangerous weaponry, what perk would you need there?
Oh, number 12. It's toughness. Any perk that boosts your character's ability to survive is always a bonus, which is why toughness is among the very best perks in Fallout 4. When first unlocked, you receive a 10% resistance to all damage with an additional 10 for each level. Toughness is a good general addition for any character, but can be especially useful if you've chosen to wear light armor and need extra defense to get through tougher battles.
They said percent.
They said percent.
It's just a flat 10 damage resistance per rank, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Let's double check that on the wiki.
Big difference.
Yep.
Yep. These are flat numbers.
Yes. In which case, if they were correct and it was percentage, it would actually be worse with lighter armor because you'd be getting less of the benefit. It would then be amazing with power armor because you could get an extra 100 resistance.
Yeah.
But with light armor, you'd get 10, maybe. But no, the extra 10 does mean that if you're wearing not particularly good armor, it makes more of a noticeable difference. Because every little helps at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But, what are your thoughts on the toughness perk in Fallout 4?
Well, by about level 20 or 30, you will have, and especially if you're wearing power armor, you will have enough damage resistance to get by, unless you're playing, I don't frickin' know. I don't believe there's too much of a use case for this if you have more knowledge of Fallout 4. Like maybe I've used a couple of ranks of this, but I don't go full 5 ranks because it seems like a waste.
Yeah. Okay.
For like the first 30 levels of perks.
Yeah. I'm in a similar boat to you. Toughness have always just felt a bit underwhelming for me. I do appreciate that it's a very low rank endurance perk. Is it the first one? Yeah, it's literally rank 1 of endurance, and it is like a small little bonus. So I don't hate it, but yeah, it's always felt a bit underwhelming. Like, you won't notice the difference it gives you, which is a bit of a shame.
But like later levels, like the scaling goes way too high to even make it matter. Is the main thing. Like where the classic games, toughness really did have a value to it because it upped your armor class, which really was more tightly bracketed or set up. Whereas like if you have an infinite leveling system like, you know, Fallout 4, it's it has a ceiling. So
I mean, also Fallout 3 and New Vegas had lower numbers in terms of like your damage threshold or damage resistance, whereas Fallout 4 you do literally get into the hundreds quite easily with power armor,
and
which means this tiny little bonus means nothing.
Yeah, and ballistic weave, which Fallout 4 also introduced, which is absurd.
Getting, like, a +3 damage threshold is great when power armor only gives like 20 or whatever. Yeah. Toughness should have been low down on this list. We're like almost halfway at this point, I think. Is it 18? Yeah, it's 18, which is such a weird number.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not great. Number 11, Critical Banker.
Hey.
If you love critical hits, then this perk, allowing you to store critical hits for a later time, is going to be your best friend. On the first tier, you start off with 1 hit stored in the bank, and as you progress, you unlock additional shots for your critical hits. Once Critical Banker is fully leveled up, you can store up to 4 critical hits, and show those wasteland critters what you're truly made of. I don't think they made a mistake here, Caedo. I think that's all correct, right?
And the tip.
And the tip?
Yeah, the tip right underneath it.
Sorry, it's in a slightly different format, so I ignore it because there's ads all over the screen and stuff.
Yeah.
It says, tip. If you want to go the extra mile on this perk, we recommend getting the Far Harbor DLC to unlock the final 5th critical hit.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Which, yeah, is another one of the DLC perks. But yeah, Critical Banker, it's simple, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Like, the crit system in Fallout 4 is pretty awesome. Like, they did a very good thing with that. And I know I think it was Many a True Nerd who made the complaint that, like, Fallout 4's too good of a shooter. So he's like, people don't use that. But I disagree with that. Like, just in general, making a game better is not a bad thing. Is going to be my basic stance. But the fact that they added in stuff like Critical Banker so you could bank your crits and do really well that way kind of bridges the gap. So you can still, like, I can still play a BATS character and have, like, really good time with it because of perks like this.
I have no notes. I just agree. Critical Banker's really good.
That's fair. Yep. Well done, TheGamer.
Yeah,
you got that one right.
Good pick. Number 11 is on track to actually being accurate to the list.
Woo! Let's move on to number 10, which is definitely going to be as good.
Number 10. What is this screenshot? Armorer. Armor is an essential perk to improve your armor pieces via modifications that can be applied as at a designated workbench. Once you've reached level 39, you can completely max out your armor to access tier 4 modifications. Avoiding damage in the wasteland is the first essential step to staying alive, so investing some junk and materials into your favorite piece of power armor will pay dividends in the long run. Note: a minimum of 3 strength is required to unlock Armorer, so be sure to at least reach that threshold even if you don't want to focus your build around strength. Okay.
At this point, I feel like there must have been 2 different people writing this list. Because some of these entries are, oh yes, here is the specific information and stuff you will need correctly. Some of it is, yeah, Fallout has perks, right? Yeah. Like, we're getting very different vibes from entry to entry.
I mean, that's what I expect when I see an updated list like this.
Yeah.
Like that entries were either added or adjustments were made, just for like extra context or extra nonsense to help the search. So.
Yeah. But no, armor is great. I think this is another kind of no notes one. It's always solid to get. It's worth it almost regardless of build.
I do wish they had examples of tier 4 modifications, but also there was no mention of, because they're talking about power armor, right? Or just armor in general.
They do. It says essential perk to improve your armor pieces, and then later on they talk about power armor. Yeah, they haven't made the distinction that it covers both or anything like that.
Which has
slightly
different
clunky if you're new to it.
Yeah, which has different perk requirements though too. So like,
yeah, you'll often need science.
Yeah, if you're committing to power armor, you need science as well.
Yeah.
So that would have been worth mentioning, but I still think this is a good entry.
Honestly, probably would have been a better note than just you need free strength.
Yeah.
Considering you need a certain amount of every stat for all of these perks.
Yep. Yeah.
This is the first one that's been acknowledged, so
that's like 3 strength and 4 int or something like that.
Science is 6 on intelligence.
6 int. Oh my god.
Yeah. This is why I so rarely go for idiot savant, because I'm like, well, I want to get science, so I'm already going to have fairly high intelligence, so I may as well just dump it all in there.
Oh, but I love idiot savant so much.
It's a good perk, but yeah.
Spoilers, they're probably going to bring it up.
Ooh,
I hope
they've
anyway.
got to, right?
Yeah.
We've got 9 more perks left.
Yeah.
What else would they do? I say after we've read toughness out as one of them. Right. Oh god, and number 9, quick hands. Fallout 4 is a pretty fast-paced game, so if you're not careful, a fight against a tough enemy could be over within seconds. This is why it's important to take advantage of your arsenal, with useful perks like quick hands, but assist when things get especially hairy. Quick hands essentially lets the sole survivor reload their weapon much faster. At rank 2, reloading in that costs no action points, while at rank 1, the reload time is a whopping 35% faster. Note, to unlock the 3rd rank of this perk, you must own the Nuclear World DLC. Quick hands kinda sucks. I'm just gonna say it. Like, the 3rd rank as well, which they don't tell you the effect of, is an extra 10 action points. And yeah, a 35% faster reload is not significantly faster. That's like tops maybe a second that you're getting saved. It's like, I'm someone who even enjoys quicker reloads. I think it's a fun thing to do, just like being chung 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 reloaded. But it makes such a tiny difference. Yeah. And the reload cost for that is basically nothing. It's so small that it doesn't make a big difference. Like, the quick hands just isn't a good perk.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like, it's not one I can ever truly recommend. I know I've put it in builds, but it's typically been as like a role-playing perk to show that someone's really accustomed with guns.
It's very, I mean, it even has a revolver in the Pip-Boy icon, or the Vault Boy icon. I can't believe I just did that. If you're using revolver type weapons, then it's much more useful because of their reload speed and how few bullets they have.
Yeah, it's more useful, but it's still too small a percentage. Like,
I think
it's only about a third
35%
faster.
is pretty substantial. Like, because it all does depend on like how much time the initial reload costs.
I mean, a standard revolver reload, I think, is only about a few seconds in Fallout. It's about half a second per round, so you're only saving like 1 second, and that's on a slow reload. Like, this is the thing, none of the reloads in the game are so slow that that sort of percentage does it.
Right, but if you're only firing off 5 to 6 shots and then having to reload, the overall time spent reloading is way longer during the whole encounter. So I don't know. I find 35% being useful for that use case. But again, if it's a gun that has like 20, 30 rounds, like, yeah, it's not a big need, I don't think.
Man, I kind of want to go in and test like every single weapon with or without quick hands just to see what kind of differences you do get.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm I'm always going to be of the opinion, but it's not quite fast enough. Like, I want a minimum 50% faster. Ideally, I'd want 100% faster reload. Like, just reload your guns twice as quickly. Spend literally half the time reloading, and then I'm like, you know what? That might be worth it. But the fact it's also an agility 8 perk. Like, it's above ninja. It's like...
Yeah.
You gotta be spec'd into that way of playing. I'm like, nah. Nah. Should be lower down on the list.
Yeah. I mean, at least switch with ninja, because that doesn't make any sense as an archetype.
I mean, just the fact that we've had, like, armorer, gun nut, scrounger, I feel like all of those are bigger go-tos than quick hands.
Yeah.
Quick hands I could have accepted towards the bottom of the list, but not at the halfway point. I reject it. I say.
Yeah. You reject that perk, Sarge.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to number 8. 4-leaf clover. Speaking of critical hits, you'll need a serious luck to increase your likelihood of getting one. 4-leaf clover increases your critical hit chance by 1 extra luck point with every unlocked level. Pair this up with critical banker and you'll be hitting your killing shots and bashing the skulls of your enemies with high damage. Because both of these perks are compatible with just about any build, we highly recommend them to boost the deadliness of your character. It's a lot of fluff in this one.
Yeah, also increases your critical hit chance by 1 extra luck point with every unlocked level.
Nope, that is super...
Yeah, that's...
not correct.
That's not a thing, because there's not a critical hit chance in Fallout 4 in that way.
There is, but it's chemically induced and probably an oversight.
And I mean, there's also sneak attack criticals, but that's like either 100% or 0, technically.
It's very... yeah.
But yeah, what 4-leaf clover actually does is each hit in bats has a chance of filling your critical meter, which still is very good.
Yes.
But it's not what they say it is.
But it's not... That's not critical chance. That is... Because critical chance is pretty much done away with for the most part in Fallout 4. It's a bar you fill up.
Of getting a crit.
It's a bar you fill up and then execute it.
Yeah.
Whenever you want.
This perk does work great with critical banker. I do really love the fact that the second half of the luck tree is pretty much just perks that synergize really well. But it's a good one.
Yeah. Though
I don't know.
Not good for every build for those who don't want to use VATS.
Yeah.
Because the shooting is so much better than games prior.
Yeah. I'd also personally rank Critical Banker higher, specifically for newer players as well. Because I feel like if you're not always using VATS and you're not used to it, the fact you can then bank critical hits means you're not wasting them so often. Whereas if you've only got one to play with, but you're always getting a 4-leaf clover, I feel like you'll forget it more. But that's me being nitpicky. I will admit that. Yeah, those nits have been picked. So I'm just going to say let's move on to number 7.
Yeah.
Wasteland Whisperer. This perk might raise some eyebrows. Are you raising your eyebrows, Caedo?
Yep, they are raised.
Excellent.
Oh, now they're furrowed.
But hear us out. Oh no. What your Fallout 4 journey through the Wasteland should all be about strategy and making the right choices. Having a bit of fun never hurt anyone. I mean, that is demonstrably untrue, but let's carry on. Next time you're dealing with a group of enemies you can't quite seem to get through, call upon any of the monsters that wander the land with you to set up the perfect distraction while you prey on your enemies. Besides, who wouldn't want a super mutant friend or a tame deathclaw to tag along? Okay, so, man, it's time to talk about Wasteland Whisperer, which should be one of the best perks in Fallout 4.
Should be.
The problem is, I'll actually read out what it does, and Caedo, I want you to scream in my ears when I say the word that makes this a problem. With your gun, aim at any wasteland creature below your level and gain a chance to pacify it.
Ah!
Okay, a bit of delay there. What was the word?
Chance.
Yep. That's the biggest problem. Honestly, there's a few issues. Like, the fact you need to do it with a gun is immediately somewhat limiting. The fact it needs to be below your level, but you typically won't know, and the whole levels of enemies is a bit random, and you also need to know your own level at every point. That's a bit of a clunkiness. But the biggest problem is the fact it's a chance to pacify it.
Yeah.
Which is just not going to work. Yeah. Most of the time it does not work.
And yeah, I'm also under the impression that if you surpass 10 charisma, like, the chance actually either doesn't increase or goes down. It's very weird that like the more you pump your charisma past 10, like it doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which sucks a lot.
I'll be honest, going through this list with you, I'm kind of wanting to make a video which is just me reworking all of Fallout 4's perks a bit. Because stuff like Wasteland Whisperer is almost brilliant. Like, it's the 9 charisma perk? Yeah, you need 9 charisma for this. You're already, like, banking on a charisma build. So I feel like this should be a lot higher. Either get rid of the chance and it just be, yeah, you need to aim a gun and talk to them.
Yeah.
And have them be below your level. Or, like, get rid of the level thing, or make the chance a bit more obvious. Or, like, make it so it does scale with charisma all the time. So then, if you have it scale with charisma, it can be like, okay, I am going to wear, like, a suit and the glasses and stuff and ditch all that fancy armor, but it means I've got a great chance of actually pacifying these things. Like, there were so many ways to make it better, and they just kind of made it a bit cruddy. That's a word I can say on the podcast, right? It wasn't too strong.
Yeah. Going from Fallout 3's Animal Friend that was just passive to this it was like a disservice to that kind of playstyle, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the fact as well that in like Fallout 3 and New Vegas, the only reason people ever put points into charisma was for the Animal Friend and associated perks. Like, that should have been such a telling moment for them. But they made it worse.
Yeah.
And it means charisma builds kinda suck.
Yeah, I mean, on brand for a lot of Fallout games, I think. But,
yes.
It's charisma needs more perks that are good.
Yeah.
Not some that are good that are made worse.
Yeah, but there's a couple of particularly good charisma perks in Fallout 4. And we haven't seen them yet on the list, which worries me a little bit.
I'm sure they're going to bring up your favorite one.
I'm not so certain. I'm really not. I think they might play the game differently. Or, not actually play the game at all, but read the wiki differently to me.
Yeah.
And thereby be like, nah, that's a write-off. But yeah. Wasteland Whisperer, I do agree with their point of fun with it, but the perk just doesn't function as well as it should.
Yeah. And the reason why I by the way, have such strong feelings about this is because my Fallout 4 playthrough was the 2-timer, which was a person that could pacify pretty much everyone by pointing a gun at them. And I even did the your special book exploit to
get charisma
even higher, just so I could have those luckier rolls. My pacification rate was still about the same. It still kind of sucked a lot of the time. But part of what helped keep it interesting, and I'm sure a lot of people don't want to hear this, is the voiceover of the protagonist, because Nate had something to say to basically everything he tried to pacify.
I mean, some of my favourite memories of trying to make this perk work with high charisma builds is me sneaking around and then screaming at raiders to drop the gun and stuff, which is great comedy. But if it was only a bit more practical. Yeah,
but it wasn't even like humans too, like calm down, you freak. Whoa, Krabby. Nice giant scorpion. It's like
there's it is arguably some of the best voice acting in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
And like it's unfortunately wasted on a perk that most people know just isn't worth it.
Yeah, it's just a bummer.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, we both scrolled down at the same time there, buddy, I think. Well, it's your one. You get to read this out.
All right, number 6, Awareness. Awareness is one of Fallout 4's best perks for learning about enemies and identifying their weaknesses. While in VATS, you're able to see the level and resistances of your enemies. Ghouls have a high radiation resistance number, for example. Note that to unlock the second rank for this perk, you must own the Nuka World DLC. 3 Perception is relatively low bar of entry for such a useful perk, and the second tier makes it more helpful, increasing your hit chance by 5%. The additional damage buff makes this one the best Fallout 4 perks to get during your journey through Nuka World. That's not a damage buff, that's hit chance.
No, it is hit chance and damage dealt. They've just neglected in the first half to acknowledge, but it's also a damage boost.
Wait, what? Hold on. Now I have to...
Okay, double check this.
You can view target-specific damage resistance. Knowing the weaknesses lets you attack more efficiently. 5% increases to hit chance and damage dealt. Okay. To both with the Nuke World expansion, rank 2 of this perk. Okay. Awareness is a tutorial perk in my mind.
Yes.
If you're playing the game for the first time, any of the Fallout games that have awareness, that's when you take the perk. Otherwise, you have a grasp of what the heck damage types to do, and or the later games it doesn't really matter too terribly much unless you're shooting a ghoul with a radiation gun.
No, this was the point I was going to bring up, and we actually made, like, a few episodes ago, we did the whole one about damage types, and how it doesn't really matter if you're using, like, energy or ballistic damage. Like, it's not going to make a noticeable difference, and I wish it was more of a difference. Like, I wish enemies really had, like, a drastically different damage and energy resistance, because then a perk like Awareness would be a lot better. But really, it is, like you say, a tutorial perk, and there is some use for the second rank, but it is 2 perk points to make BAT's combat specifically a bit better.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could just get, like, Bloody Mess and just have the damage boost all the time.
Yep.
Like, you know what? I'm betting right now Bloody Mess is the number 1 perk.
Oh.
I feel like that's one... I mean, they'll definitely get the description wrong, but I feel like that's got to be the top one, right? I feel like it is such a universally good one. And it does damage, which everyone loves, and it has the big messy effect, which everyone loves as well. I'm putting... You know what? I've got a penny on my desk. I bet a penny that it's, literally betting all the money in front of me right now. Going all in. Bloody Mess is the number 1.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm worried about scrolling down to number 5 now. Because what are the chances of it being Bloody Mess?
Well, it's
Is
not.
there anything else to say about Awareness? Okay. Okay, I can scroll down safely. Phew. Number 5, which comes with a picture of a lady just doing the dumbest grin.
It's the retail worker who's faking a smile at you.
Yeah, just end of a shift, final customer who's just really taking their time, but you're not allowed to
We're
swear
trying
at
to
them.
close, please.
Yep.
That's the face she's making.
Yeah. Number 5 is Medic. When surviving the horrors of a wasteland, it's pretty important to keep an eye on your health. Since stimpaks aren't super common at higher difficulty levels, it's crucial to get the maximum amount of health from them. This is why the Medic perk is so good, despite sounding so basic. The perk also affects how much Radaway removes radiation damage, so it's sort of a 2-in-1 deal. At level 1, both items restore 40% of missing health and remove 40% of radiation damage taken, which is a pretty significant boost. For the most part, I'm going to agree with them. I think Medic is a great perk for most people, especially if you're new to the game. And yeah, it is weird how they point out what the first rank does, but not the later ranks.
Yep.
I will say that feels a bit strange to me. Also, stimpaks aren't super common at higher difficulty levels, they say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
It's the opposite.
Okay, yeah, stimpaks are just, like, ridiculously common, which is also the reason why Medic is so good.
Yeah.
Like, if stimpaks weren't super common, Medic would be worse, because you wouldn't have just stimpaks to rely on.
Yeah.
But instead it just means, your stimpaks are always going to heal you up a ton. Yeah, you can just rely on them, you pick them up whenever, you're sorted.
Yeah, and the more you can heal with them, the less you'll use. So ultimately, you still will end up with more stimpaks just because you have the perk. So
yeah,
I don't know what they're on for that first bit.
But yeah, I you know what? I'm very happy with the placement. 5th place, Medic. Medic's great. We've talked a little bit about how some perks are for, like, tutorial ones, like Awareness when you're brand new to the game, and others are a bit later on when you get to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think Medic is one of the few perks which remains just as good from your first playthrough to your last.
Yeah. I agree.
Nice.
And I think it has utility in survival as well, because you can't make some of the like what's the oh my god,
Antibiotics.
Is antibiotics one of them? That's one of them, as well as
Antibiotics, you need... actually, no, you need Chemist for a lot of them. Chemist is the perk you need for lots of stuff. I'm not sure if you need Medic for any of the specifically...
What's the weird drink one? The one that...
it's not Dirty Wastelander, it's... Oh, Refreshing Beverage.
Thank you. Oh my god. Yeah, that one has a perk requirement. It's specifically in survival mode. And I want to say it's Medic. I could be wrong, though.
We're gonna Google it.
Because Refreshing Beverage is like one of the best healing items in a Fallout game ever.
No, it's Chemist.
It's Chemist. God dang it.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the other thing. In survival mode, you getting whether or not you decide to go high intelligence for Chemist is a real decision.
Yeah. But Refreshing Beverage is real good.
Even without that. Yeah, Refreshing Beverage is great. I think... No, I didn't craft one. Did I craft one? I don't think I crafted one in the most recent series. But in a past one I did. Because it's really good in survival.
Yeah.
Alright, Caedo. Number 4's all on you.
Yay! Hey, it's me!
With that great Fallout 4 screenshot
it's a
they've
pile
taken.
of what I do. I think those are Fallout 3 models, too.
Yeah.
Fallout 3 and modded ones. Anyway, number 4, Chem Resistant. Chem Resistant is one of Fallout 4's best perks to increase your quality of life, as becoming addicted to chems is a hassle. The first tier of the perk grants you a 50% chance to avoid being addicted, and the second tier will guarantee complete immunity to chem addiction. While the 4 Endurance is a bit tougher of a requirement than some of the other perks on the list, you'll likely want to bump this number up anyway for general survival. Take advantage of the massive boost to strength, intelligence, and other attributes that chems offer you, and enjoy avoiding addiction.
So, first off, I want to criticize them for being like, oh, 4 Endurance is a bit higher than some of the other stuff, when half the perks have been, like, real high level ones. But, I will say, I very, very rarely use chems in the Fallout franchise.
I use them all the time in Fallout games, and I rarely take Chem Resistant.
Oh, right. Yeah, because see, to me, Chem Resistant is almost worthless. Because the first rank as well kinda sucks. Like, the second rank is the one you want, because then you do have immunity, which I can see some benefit from.
Yeah.
But 2 perk points to get immune to chems when you can cure it in other ways. Like it,
lots of other ways.
Yeah. That's a lot for stuff that isn't.
I would say, like, another one kind of in the like, you want to experiment but you're new to the games kind of thing. Yeah. Because, like, and you're in a safe environment to do so. Yay. Experimenting with drugs. Anyway, I have the advantage of being stupidly knowledgeable in Fallout and knowing, like, where to get chems as well as where to remove addictions quickly. Which, I mean, you'll see that in Fallout 3 when I'm doing my frickin' special roulette, because I'm just like, well, I shouldn't adjust my attributes right now because it might break something if I have chem withdrawals, so I'm gonna go to the doctor real quick. But that comes with the, you know, just learning the games and what your options are kind of thing. So yes, when you're new, but no, you have all of your tools to remove addictions on the fly, especially later. Like, you'll have so much addictol and refreshing beverages and doctors and whatever to remove it.
Yeah, this feels like another one of the tutorial perks, and definitely should not be 4th on the list. This is the 4th best perk in Fallout 4.
I did want to mention too, like, in survival mode, like, you want to use less chems because it dehydrates you and slowly kills you if you use too many chems. So
chems are so bad in
there's
survival.
a reverse incentive on that.
Yeah. Okay. On to number 3, which is a more sensible one. Hey. It's Action Boy or Action Girl. Because Fallout 4 wouldn't be the same game without VATS, an essential part of gameplay that allows the sole survivor to do so much more in a short amount of time. From critical hits to examining enemies, VATS has many advantages when the right perks are unlocked. Action Boy is one of them. Since using VATS requires action points, a perk like Action Boy is vital for any VATS builds. With each rank, the regeneration percentage is higher, capping at rank 3 at 75%. And note, The max upgrade is only available in the Far Harbor DLC.
Hey.
First off, I'm proud of them for not mixing it up with one of the other Action Boys.
Yeah. Same.
Which I was expecting. Secondly, I'm then not proud of them because they only mention bats.
Yep.
When I feel like it's also worth pointing out that action points are good for sprinting.
Yes.
Which is a big reason why I love Action Boy. Because you can sprint from cover to cover so much easier with it. So it's good for, like, all playstyles. Because if you're melee or unarmed as well, it means you can get up to the enemies quicker and hit them with a power attack.
Yep.
Which also uses it. Gives you a bit of a gun bashing when enemies do get close. Like, it's an amazing perk. Like, it's brilliant. But they've only included the VATS part for it.
Yeah, but it is still a good number 3, I will say.
Yes.
Universally useful. Unless you like walking everywhere without using VATS.
Yeah. If you're like walking everywhere, never a power attack with a melee build, don't hold your breath with a scoped weapon. You know, if you're playing a very specific playstyle, then it could not be useful, I suppose.
Tune in to the next Sarge challenge run where he only walks.
God. Yeah, I was just thinking that would be a challenge run. Man, I considered a Dark Souls challenge run. I was like, oh, I'll do a Dark Souls challenge run when I'm always over encumbered.
Oh, no.
And then I played for like 1 minute over encumbered and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Mr. outruns his whole team all the time.
Yes.
Being forced to,
I am
walk everywhere.
So bad for that. I like to be fast. I like speed.
I do too. I understand.
Yeah.
I couldn't tolerate that either. Hey, number 2. Idiot Savant.
Yeah.
You don't have to be smart to succeed. That much is certain in Fallout 4 thanks to the Idiot Savant perk. Sure, your character might be laughably dumb, but at the end of the day, you'll be the one to collect all the experience points to level yourself up into the strongest and dumbest survivor in the Wastelands. At level 1, you can gain up to 3 times XP you would normally gain from any action. If your intelligence stat is particularly low, the chance of this happening becomes increasingly higher. Yeah, Idiot Savant is busted for many reasons, but primarily because there's no level cap to Fallout 4.
Yeah.
This will affect all of your levels going forward. Whether you decide to up your intelligence, that'll of course decrease the odds of it going off, but even so, it's all bonus XP at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I always remember there's a early Fudge Muppet build where they just did max intelligence, like even with the special book trick, and then put Idiot Savant, because it was like, yeah, it's got a tiny chance of happening, but you're making so much experience, but when it does trigger, that bonus is suddenly 5 times larger.
Oh yeah.
Which is just brilliant. Yeah. Idiot Savant is literally the only perk as well which pays for itself. Because it grants you more XP, and that extra XP will get you another perk.
Yep, that's true. That is true. It's like the better evolution of Here and Now.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, this is a problem. All of the previous Fallout games, I think, had level caps.
Yeah.
And like stuff like Here and Now and Swift Learner, it was never worth getting because it was wasting a valuable resource to get a resource which there is technically a limited amount of.
Yeah, it was a finite level up resource, like you were saying. But
which is also the reason why Not Good Natured Skilled in New Vegas was so good. Because like, oh no, I'm getting XP slower on a game where I will eventually max out my character level anyway. It's like, yeah, I'd like to just be better at everything, thanks.
Yeah.
Idiot Savant, great.
Yeah, definitely. So, number 1. Oh no, Sarge.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh no.
I can see the number 1. Oh my god. I've scrolled down. Do you remember what I said at the very start, Caedo?
Any playstyle?
This is for any build. Yep, any playstyle.
Yep.
And I was like, so they're not going to have like Rifleman or anything like that. Number 1, Rifleman. To be clear, everyone listening, I didn't peek ahead or anything. I bet a penny. But it would be bloody mess. And at the start I was like, it's not going to be Rifleman. Rifleman just won't be on here. And it's the number 1 perk.
Looks like you owe the gamer a penny.
I do. Okay. Anyone at the gamer listening, just come to my house. I'll have the penny waiting for you. Alright. Rifles are undoubtedly one of the most common and powerful weapons in Fallout 4. With that in mind, Rifleman is undoubtedly the best Fallout 4 perk for any rifle-based build. The bonus on each level, the bonuses on each level are remarkable, starting with a 20% damage increase at level 1 and increasing by 20% for each additional level. At level 4, you also gain a slim chance of crippling the body part of the enemy you've hit. All rifles, including Gauss rifles, muskets, and shotguns, are affected by this perk, so if you prefer engaging your opponents from afar and dealing serious damage, this is a clear choice. That last sentence really tripped me up, because they talk about shotguns and then talk about engaging opponents from far.
Yeah.
Which, no, okay, on the first half of that, they were right, because it was like, oh yeah, rifle will actually cover a huge range. Like, Gauss rifles are arguably more of a mid-range thing. Muskets as well, somewhat, but it could have been like sniper rifles, laser musket, and shotguns, because yeah, rifles cover the full range.
Yep.
Which does make riflemen, in my opinion, the best of the damage types. So I'm with them on that, but yeah, then they just kind of messed it up at the end.
Yeah. There's also just
In more
game
ways than one.
favoritism with
Yeah.
rifles being the most available and variety-filled of the weapon types in the game. It's just like swords in Skyrim. Like one-handed swords. They are the one-handed swords
so
of
many
Fallout.
of them. It's, yeah, like, this is so annoying as well.
Yeah.
Because right at the start, it was like, for any build, and they stuck with that for most of this list.
Yeah.
It was like, regardless of build, most of these are good perks. And then it was like, hey, you have to have this one specific build. You have to be playing a rifle character.
Yeah.
And also, they don't mention, but it doesn't count for automatics.
Nope.
They don't point out that it's semi-auto or like a bolt action or stuff like that. They're just like, yeah, have a rifle and it'll work.
Yeah. Yeah, technically it's half the rifles you'll have.
Yeah, it's rifles that aren't modded to be automatic.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, if you're making this list for new people, which it feels like it very much was, then that's something you need to include.
But also, in order to make sure that engagement goes up, they have to create some kind of drama with number one. So, I mean, I'm also guilty of this, so I understand. But out of all of them, like if you want to stir the pot, get like, I don't know, Basher. Just really go off the deep end.
I don't even think this was meant to be like a stirring the pot entry at the end. This feels like a legitimate one they thought. But,
based on the wiki, though, right?
Yeah, but based on either them having played through the game once several years ago or just reading the wiki, then yeah, they just went for this. Although, I want to do something a little bit different now and ask you, like, what are perks you'd have put on this list? Ones that were missing that you think definitely should have been on here?
Following the same criteria, like best for any build?
Yeah.
Let me have a little looky-loo, because I don't have the poster on my wall anymore.
Oh man. Well, while you do have a looky-loo, obviously I said Bloody Mess. I banked on it being there. It should be there, because it's just a flat damage boost, so it doesn't matter what you're using.
Yeah.
And it has the fun gory effect. That is just good. You know? It's just good, and it's fun. We love it. I'm also going to say that they didn't have Scrapper, which is a pretty solid one for if you're going for any type of crafting.
And, I mean, it's integral to so much of the game. So...
like, you can 100% get by without Scrapper.
You can.
But doing it without Scrapper means that at some point you'll be like, oh man, I need these resources. And especially if you're new to the game, it'll be like, I need these resources, I have no idea where to find them. Also, we talked about charisma. Both Local Leader and Lone Wanderer weren't mentioned, but Wasteland Whisperer was.
Yeah.
And Local Leader, I will say, I wasn't certain about that one, because it is very settlement-based. Like, while it is useful, it's a bit more specific. But Lone Wanderer, I feel like, is worth a mention. Because anyone who's playing without followers, Lone Wanderer is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, like, Grim Reaper Sprint, but that is VATS focused.
Yeah.
But it's very powerful. Like, even with the nerf from 3 to 4, like, it's still... From Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, that is. Like, it's still very, very strong.
Yeah.
and they talked about like three other like really good luck perks.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't include Bloody Mess because they already had like 3 really good ones.
Possibly.
But is it the first rank of Aqua Boy / Girl that makes you immune to water-based radiation?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that one I would
really
have.
good in survival.
That one I would have put in, I think.
I mean, I would have replaced toughness with adamantium skeleton, possibly. Like, honestly, that's not a great one for me, but I feel like if you're new to the game, not being crippled is better.
Yeah.
The one I actually prefer is Life Giver, which I feel like is a bit of an unsung hero. Because while the extra hit points aren't great, the rank 3 at level 20 you get constant health regen.
Yep.
And when I say constant, I mean constant.
Yep.
You're always regenerating
That means
health,
you can sit in a
which is what
chair
makes it so good.
and wait, and you're healed.
Yeah. It also means that in the middle of the fight, you're still regenerating health.
Yeah.
Which is not a common thing with health regeneration.
No.
Like, so often it's like, oh, if you're out of danger, or if you feel this specific condition, or if it's daytime, like solar-powered, is daytime, you get it. And that requires 10 endurance. But if you have just 3 endurance, you can get health regen all the time.
Yeah. And, I mean, if we're going that route, too, we can talk about solar-powered as well, which gives you, you know, regen during the day with one of the ranks as well. So,
I mean, solar-powered would have been a good replacement to Ghoulish.
Oh,
in my
for
opinion,
sure.
Because, yeah, that also gets rid of rads.
Yeah.
And heals you.
They're meant to, like, talk about synergy between attribute-based perks like that. Yeah, that would be that.
Yeah.
Strong back as well. Like, that's useful for any build.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's just solid.
Yeah.
Not particularly exciting.
Not
but
exciting.
Yeah, it's always good.
Yeah.
I'd also argue that if they were going to have a damage perk, put Demolition Expert. Like, pretty much everyone's going to use explosives because they go alongside your main weapon.
Yep. They are a secondary that you just kind of have. So, yeah.
Yeah, that...
and
that list started better than it ended.
Yes. I wanted to quickly mention Pain Train as well. Like, again, very specific, but very fun to use.
I was expecting Pain Train to be on the list as their, like, fun one, but instead they went with Wasteland Whisperer.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well...
Like, Wasteland Pisperer. More like...
It was so bad, I love it.
I think we're done with this list, Sarge.
Yep. Alright, Caedo, what you been up to the past couple of weeks?
Well, I already told you prior to recording, I don't know how much anybody needs to hear about my personal life. I drove up to Washington. I rented a car and drove to Washington to visit my folks and then drove back same day. I was pretty tired. But I didn't want to stay there longer than a day. So I made my bed and I laid in it. That's what happened. That's how that metaphor goes. But it was nice to see them, obviously. But also what I've been doing is not as much working on the rant video I had planned because I had been caught up in some other games and stuff.
But Caedo, I've been so eagerly anticipating the rant video.
I know.
Like, it is genuinely the video I'm most looking forward to coming out
I
on
might
YouTube.
drop it down to a list of 5 just so I can get it out because I have 5. Okay. I have 5 entries already recorded and done. But I
mean,
haven't.
If you need me to guest spot and just scream at my microphone for a while, I can do that.
I might take you up on that, actually.
I mean, you know a fair few people who are like names in the Fallout community as well. You can probably get like a few of them. Like, ask Will; he'll probably say yes.
Oh,
I'm sure he's got stuff.
Has he even played Starfield?
I don't know.
I forget.
You can find out.
Crap.
You know Fallout people. You can. Some of them will have played Starfield. You can definitely like pad it out with other people also. Covering parts.
I will think about it. I am more probably thinking about just like dropping it down to 5 and just like doing a test on how people are receptive to it, or if they're just like, no, Caedo, what's wrong with you? You've fallen so far. What's wrong?
It'll be weird. I know whenever I put a Starfield video out, it always gets dislikes. But I can never tell if that's people being like, how dare you say something negative about Starfield, or if it's people going, how dare you cover Starfield, stop covering this.
Oh yeah, it's either I don't like you talking about Starfield, or I don't like Starfield. It's not like,
and you can't tell which is which, and the complete opposites.
And that still has really nothing to do with like what you're really doing.
Yep.
It's more just like, I don't like this.
Yeah, it's so unhelpful.
Yeah, I think that's funny. But anyway, I do have that still on the docket of things that I'm doing. But while I have been doing responsible things in my life as well as procrastinating my personal projects, I have been playing the new update to Hades 2 that just came out like 3 days ago for when this recording or when the upload happens. Oh my god, I'm so burpy, sorry. It's the Olympian update where you get to when you play Hades 2, you can go down to the underworld or you can go up to Mount Olympus. Now Mount Olympus is available as a section that you can go to. So I did that run once, got stomped by the boss, of course. So I got to try it out. I'm really excited to do it more because they added the final weapon as well, which is they are a mix of my favorite playstyle as well as mechs. So yeah, it's a set of gauntlets that can block, punch, and fire missiles.
Brilliant.
So it's a little bit of everything that people like me like. It's rocket punch but more. So I've been doing that. Been playing a ton of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. It's just Vampire Survivors but Deep Rock, and with the main difference is that you're a dwarf that can dig, so you there's digging mechanics in each of the arenas and stuff like that, but same conceptually, like you're diving further and further down, enemies get more and more difficult, and by the end you fight a dreadnought, and it's fun. It's a fun bullet heaven thing to do, especially if you like just mindlessly listening to a podcast and doing something with your hands at the same time. Like that's the survivor genre for sure. So I have been enjoying that too. Played through King's Quest 6. This was just for nostalgia factor. I'm a King's Quest 5 and 6 boy, though I grew up with those on PC, so I was like, oh, maybe it's time to go back. And luckily GOG had a properly working version of King's Quest 6 that you can just launch and it works on modern PCs. So it was really easy to get set up and play through it. And I only looked up like one thing. Like I have most of the puzzles memorized. It's just, like I said, nostalgia based. Mm-hmm. It's a point and click adventure game for those who don't know. Yeah. That came out in the 90s.
It's the series with the goat puzzle, right?
The goat puzzle.
Yeah. The goat puzzle, the very famous goat puzzle.
I'll need more than that.
You have to move a goat by getting it to run at you twice or something, and there's a very specific way to get around it, and it's kind of famous. Wait, I'm just going to Google the goat puzzle.
It might be one of the earlier King's Quest games that I didn't play.
Okay.
Or didn't play as much.
Yeah, but oh my god, there's literally an entire Wikipedia article about it. Oh no, it was from Broken Sword for Shadow of the Templars.
Oh,
what?
That's not King's Quest at all.
That's not King's Quest at all, man. Okay, I 100% thought that was King's Quest.
I will say though, too, like if at any point anybody here is interested, the 3D King's Quest games that were released about, oh my god, like 5, 6, 7 years ago now, those are really good. I will say. If you want that vibe in a more modern appearance. And finally, I have been watching Vox Machina Season 3, which is the animated series of the Vox Machina D&D campaign that Critical Role did. And I am finally, now that I've seen up to episode 9, I think, 6, 9, I think. I'm pretty sure that this is the finale season. I don't foresee because of some creative choices that are being made, I don't foresee it continuing after this point. So I don't think there's going to be a Vecna arc at all. If anybody was, I could be wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. But it is still good, even though there are some creative choices made just for the sake of making it more palatable as a show, and more dramatic as a show. I hope that it gets more interest to the original like tabletop playthrough, because it's some of the moments in the show are almost perfectly capturing how it goes in the game still, in the Critical Role tabletop version.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the highlights of what I've been doing, besides, the freaking yeah. Yeah, what have you been doing, Sarge?
I made 2 new channels.
Whoa! Yeah, you had a channel update and channels update, and
yeah. So here's the funny thing. My channel update I made over a week ago has a little over 600 views, and it was there to announce Bad Company Gaming and Bad Company Builds. Bad Company Gaming is my challenge run channel. Was previously my FPS channel, so it's technically not new. But now I do challenge runs on it, and I've started out with Fallout 4 Sniper Survival, which is me playing through Fallout 4 on survival mode, and I can only use scoped weapons, so basically snipers. And the first episode of that, we're now at 3 episodes. First episode is at over 1,000 views. It literally has double the views of my update video. So, obviously a lot of those not coming from the update video, because it got fewer views. And likewise, Bad Company Builds, which is where I'm now making character builds, I made a Fallout New Vegas character called the Holy Soldier, and that also has over 1,000 views. So, yeah, the videos on my new channel did a lot better than the video on my main channel, which has over 46,000 subscribers more.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I was going to raise a question like when you first did the announcement video, and I was going to be like, well, maybe this will be a good experiment, because my channel has plateaued for years at this point. So I don't have a point of reference besides the people subscribing to the PIPCAST 3000 channel actually subscribing for that very thing.
Yeah.
And that being the only thing that's going to be on this channel. So like, I don't know. I'm hoping that bears fruit for you, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fact as well that this New Vegas build, I made another one. Let me switch channels again. I also have more channels. There are secret channels I haven't revealed yet.
Ooh.
But yeah, I made a Fallout New Vegas build on the 14th of August. Oh my god, and it has almost the same number of views as the one I made on a brand new channel. Like, the build I released like a week ago has the same number of views as one I released months ago on the main channel. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason I've got these channels is because I figured it would be smart to split my own channel up. So I've got character builds on Bad Company Gaming. Nope, that's wrong. I've got challenge runs on Bad Company Gaming, character builds on Bad Company Builds, and now Bad Company Sarge is going to be like video essay stuff. I don't know if video essays are the best word for it, but it's stuff like my rewriting series. I mentioned in this podcast, like, I kind of want to like redo all the Fallout 4 perks, and I might make that a video on the main channel. And it's more like think pieces and stuff like that, me doing interesting rewrites and stuff to games. I want to focus more on writing if I can. In fact, I've got a video scheduled for a few days' time, which is called The Beautiful Design of Faction Weapons, where I talk about faction weapons, because that's something I never hear people talk about, and I was like, I want to talk about it. It's a really cool concept. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Is making extra channels.
Yeah.
God, I've been doing so much work, and I kind of want to do more.
Ooh.
I may have a problem.
That's...
I'm also still looking for a part-time job.
Oh.
In a mist now, running 3 channels plus some secret ones.
So while you're looking for
annoying.
work, you're making more work for yourself.
Yes, I'm doing so much work, it's crazy. And annoyingly, when I was job searching the other day, Google wanted to gaslight me into me being on the opposite side of the world.
What?
Because there's a place, I live near a place called Hastings in the United Kingdom. It's my hometown, I always talk about it. There's also a Hastings in New Zealand, literally the opposite side of the world. And when I was searching for part-time jobs in Hastings, Google was like, yeah, Hastings, United Kingdom. Here's a part-time job. And I was like, oh, wow, I've never heard of that store before, and I know Hastings pretty well. That seems interesting. It was in New Zealand, and I had to do extra research to find that. And yeah, it's...
You know, it gets really entertaining. I'm wondering if Google's going to gaslight you further, is that Hastings is just the name of a store chain here.
Oh, God.
So...
I mean, I knew there was a Hastings on Hudson in New York, which I may have applied to somewhere in there at this point, but...
Hastings is just like an electronics nerd store kind of thing in the US.
That's not helpful. This really isn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why. It's because 1066 was the Battle of Hastings, which, fun fact, took place in battle, not in Hastings.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, which is always fun.
History's weird, man.
It's super iconic, like a major part of technically so many countries' histories because of how long ago it was. Like, we're coming up to the 1,000-year anniversary, not too far away.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but like that does mean Hastings kind of became popular, and it's not very helpful now when I just want a job. I just want to do a little bit of work and make enough money to pay my bills and have everything sorted. But you know what? That's all been stressful, so I've been playing My Time at Sandrock, which is the perfect way to do a sequel. It's the best way I can promote that game is to be like, hey, they made My Time at Porsche. They went, okay, people liked this stuff, we did this stuff well, and we didn't do that stuff well, and people didn't like that stuff, so we'll change all the bad bits and stick with all the good bits. Yeah. And they just did that. And that's how you do a sequel. And it sounds so simple, but it doesn't happen normally.
I want to say this is the third episode in a row where you've talked about My Time at Sandrock so lovingly.
Yeah, I'm closing into 200 hours in the game, and I have not beat the campaign.
Oh my goodness. Those are high Sarge hours.
Those are really high Sarge hours. Like, it's been a very casual game for me. I recently just redid my whole, like, workshop area. We just had a new character show up. Like, just the other day at, like, 160 hours in or something. And there's a really good storyline, and I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it. Because it is genuinely just well done. Because it's a cozy post-apocalypse game, and because it's quite cozy, you sometimes forget that this is a post-apocalypse, and there's like a war brewing in the background.
Oh.
But you're just a builder. So normally it's just like, hey, someone wants some like hardwood planks, and you're like, yeah, I can sort that out for them. Oh yeah, of course, that's fine. And at one point you build a school after you blow up a building with an exploding jacuzzi.
Oh.
So, yes.
Okay,
Play this game, people.
Dang it, now I need to play it, I think.
It is really good. I would recommend making sure you can play it as a casual game, because it is a time sink.
Okay. Wait, okay, so My Time at Porsche, is that also cozy post-apoc, or is it specifically the second? Okay.
It's My Time at Porsche is good. It's not as good as My Time at Sandrock.
Okay.
And you can play either without the other one. They did a really good job of referencing. Both games take place at the same time.
Oh.
Which is kind of fun. Because as you're playing through My Time at Sandrock, they reference stuff happening at Porsche. And in both games, you build a road to the other place.
Ooh.
And it's like, yeah, there's really good connectivity. I just got a letter from one of the characters in My Time at Porsche, which is really cool.
That's cool.
It's brilliant. It's so well done. Like, it is insanely well done.
Yeah, that's almost like Far Lone Sails and Far Changing Tides. A very similar situation where the characters you play are traveling towards each other, basically.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah. I don't know how many more weeks I will be bringing this up, but it is really just my go-to game at the moment.
That's cool. That's awesome. I am glad you have your Death Stranding, as it were. Because that's what Death Stranding was for me, and is for me.
Yeah.
Is the go-to chill post-apoc game.
Yep.
Because I think we all need one of those.
Yes. It's very helpful to have.
Yeah. Is that all we got, Sarge?
That's gonna be it for me. I mean, we've just hit 2 hours on recording, so
perfect timing.
I feel like that's a good point to call it.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for listening and or watching the B-roll, whatever that may be. It's probably Fallout 4 or Fallout 76. If you want to be a comment of the cast, leave a comment. That's really all you got to do. And also, we try to vary it up on who gets to be the comment of the cast, if you haven't noticed. If you are a regular commenter, we stagger it a little bit just to make sure, you know, we're not playing too much of favorites.
Sorry, Timothy. Sorry, Chad.
Yep, sorry.
We liked your comments on the last one.
Yes.
They were good as well.
Yeah. Catch us every other Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific on the next PIPCAST 3000. Thank you to Wasteland Legends, Sven and Rose, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.